This is KGW News at 11.
Let's take a live look now outside over downtown Portland at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Tonight, we're going to see near freezing temperatures and potentially freezing fog along with that. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us for KGW News at 11. I'm Christel Kumwe. And meteorologist Joe Ranieri is joining us to tell us about those conditions.
Yeah, with the areas of patchy fog moving in and the potential for freezing fog, we could see some slick roads out there for your Monday morning commute. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 38 degrees with clear skies, but we're starting to see some fog roll in through parts of the central and southern Willamette Valley. Visibility down in parts of Washington County is at half of a mile or so, and I'm expecting to see that number to decrease over the next several hours heading into the overnight hours. But this is what's in store heading into tomorrow morning. We're going to see that ridge of high pressure that's been overhead kind of slide off to the east. As it does, we'll usher in some clouds, but we're not going to be seeing much precipitation out of some of these systems that move through. It's going to be more of a zonal flow, more of a west to east weather pattern. And so we're going to be seeing some of the rain showers move in by the later part of tomorrow night. But I think we see some more potential of seeing more measurable amount of rain early Tuesday morning. And some of those models are suggesting we could be seeing a mix of rain and snow at times. As we look at the visibility right now, like I said, it's down to even less than a half a mile. It's down to a quarter mile through parts of Washington County over in Hillsborough and parts of Beaverton as well. Temperature wise right now, we're looking at readings right around the low 30s over in Hillsborough, King City 31. Where you see these temperatures below freezing and there's fog developing, you will be seeing some areas of freezing fog. So be prepared for some slick roads out on your Monday morning commute. But again, there are some advisories because of the fog throughout parts of eastern Oregon. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Joe. New tonight, a man was shot multiple times in East Portland just before 8:30 p.m. Police say the shooting happened at a gas station parking lot on East Burnside near Northeast 120th Avenue. The victim has been taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. At last check, police are still looking for the suspect. 2023 is off to a deadly start in the Rose City. Portland police responded to the first fatal crash of the year early Sunday morning. Now there's concern this year could be as deadly as the last two, which both surpassed 65 deaths. Blair Best explains how police are now looking to the community to help stop this trend.
This small, dead-end neighborhood off Southeast Division Street, the scene of Portland's latest deadly car crash.
People love to just come flying into the neighborhood or flying out of the neighborhood.
Don Reynolds has lived on Southeast 125th for 10 years. He was hitting the road early to go snowboarding when he heard the crash around 2:30 Sunday morning.
I thought it was nothing but fireworks and stuff like that, and then as I left, there was still flares on the road.
Portland police say someone driving a stolen sedan crashed into multiple parked cars and died. The damaged cars still lined the street Sunday afternoon.
People would assume something on I-84 or something on I-5, but when you say it's a dead-end neighborhood and that there was a fatal crash, that hurts a lot.
This comes on the heels of last year's fatal crashes, where more than 65 people died in Portland. Police now calling this an epidemic. According to Oregon's official crash record, there are typically between 10,000 and 12,000 reported crashes in the city each year.
Speed continues to be one of the key factors in those fatalities and serious injuries.
Hannah Schaefer at the Portland Bureau of Transportation argues a new state law could help stop this deadly trend. The law, now in effect, allows city and county officials to designate speed limits, as opposed to traffic engineers and Oregon's Department of Transportation.
There is still a lot of work for us to do at PBOT to make our streets safer, but we need partners in this.
Oregon's 241 cities, along with Multnomah and Clackamas counties, can now begin applying for the authority to designate speed limits in their respective jurisdictions. ODOT will continue to manage speed limits on state roads.
Having local authority over speeds is really, really crucial when we're trying to lower speeds and create safer conditions around the city.
Those safer conditions, what people like Dawn are longing for as they head into the new year.
I would hope that Portland would just really take that step on becoming what it used to be.
Changing speed limits only goes so far. Portland police now calling on the community to help make the streets safer by being vigilant and following the rules of the road. Blair Best, KGW News.
We also have an update for you tonight. On Friday, there was a fatal pedestrian crash in Beaverton. We now know the victim was 92 years old. Beaverton police say a pickup truck crashed into the woman. Investigators are still looking into what happened to cause the crash, but say the driver stayed on the scene after the crash. The accident happened near the Highland Hills Shopping Center on Southwest Allen Boulevard. Oregon's new paid leave program started collecting money from workers and businesses today. Most workers will be eligible for up to 12 weeks of paid leave a year through the program. Now, Art Edwards is joining us now to tell us a bit more about how this program is going to work. Art?
Well, as it turns out, Oregon is joining 10 other states and the District of Columbia in offering a paid leave program.
Paid Leave Oregon will give workers the chance to take paid time off to handle challenging moments in their lives.
Well, I think it's very exciting that Oregon is a trendsetter in this area and that we're one of the first states to be implementing paid leave.
The program, developed by the Oregon Employment Department, provides paid leave for things like the birth or adoption of a child, serious injury or illness, for taking care of a seriously ill family member, and for survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, or harassment.
Really takes, again, that burden off of folks' shoulders to know that it's not going to be leave that they're going to have to take unpaid, or they could potentially lose their job.
The program is funded by a trust fund. All workers in Oregon will pay 0.6% of their gross wages into the fund every paycheck.
For $5,000 in gross wages, the employee would pay $30.
Businesses with more than 25 employees would contribute an additional 0.4% to fund the program. For every $5,000 gross wages paid, businesses would pay $20. Businesses with fewer than 25 employees are not required to pay into the program. Federal and tribal governments are also exempt. While funds are going into the trust fund now, paid leave benefits won't start being paid until September.
We need to build up that state trust fund. So we need that time between January and September to build up a couple quarters worth of contributions so that come September, we'll be able to pay the benefits to those folks who apply and are eligible.
Now, under this program, you do not have to take the 12 weeks of paid leave at one time if that's what you qualify for. The amount workers get paid will also depend upon how much they have earned. If you have more questions, you can go to paidleave.oregon.gov.
Thanks, Art. Oregon renters could face a steep increase to their monthly payments this year. Because of inflation, the state approved a significant hike to Oregon's cap on rent increases, and that jump could start impacting renters today. Landlords are now able to bump up the rent as much as 14.6%. That could mean several $100s added to your rent. The executive director of the Community Alliance of Tenants is worried this will kick more people out on the street because they just can't afford it.
The standard rent right now is about $1,500 a month. So a 14.6% increase is over $200 extra a month. That's thousands of dollars per year. How can that possibly be right? No one's wages have increased at 10% every year and 14% this year.
Note, this law only applies to rentals 15 years or older, not new construction. If your rent is going up, landlords are required to put it in writing to the tenant.